I have on my head a bassinet or bascinet, or if you want to sound more French, a bassinet. It's a type of helmet, late medieval, and it has this visor. This visor is known as a pig face visor, and it was quite common, quite popular, which surprises me because, well, I don't know about you, but take a good look at this. Does this look terrifying to you? Is this the face of doom? Because what I see is a very mild-mannered mouse. It's got the Mickey Mouse snout, it's got the little placid smile here, and it's got these slightly upward sloping eyes that make it look so friendly and harmless. Now, it's very difficult to look at something with the eyes and mind of a medieval man. You've got to try to look at this and interpret it as he would see it. Would he find this intimidating and frightening? Would this look like a pig to him, the face of the devil or something? Do you know, I suspect not, particularly if loads of people on both sides are wearing them and everyone's quite familiar with them. It's not going to be that terrifying. So, why did they have these visors then? Well, the snout on it, you can see, is extremely well shaped for deflecting arrows. If some thrust comes from the front, it's going to zing off almost certainly rather than puncture through. And the eye slits, can you see the eye slits are actually forward of the helmet? They stick out on these little projections, and that means that any arrow hitting near the eyes is going to be guided away from the eyes. So it'd be very, very difficult to get someone in the eye slit with an arrow. You'd have to hit right into the slit itself. So for advancing against the arrow storm, this is probably a pretty effective visor to have. Once you've done that, however, you're in not such a great position because the vision through these things is terrible. Now, I should admit now that though I have worn one of these about 3 times, I have never fought in one. But the impression I get from wearing them is that fighting would be very difficult indeed. You see, the eye slits are not very close to my eyes. And if you've got a narrow slit very close to your eyes, you can see quite a bit through it. But if it's only just 1 inch away from your eye, this narrows your field of vision very considerably. And there's quite a bit of space. It's going to be difficult to... There is that far. There's at least 1.5 inches between my eye. Yeah, getting on for 2 inches between my eye and this arrow slit, this eye slit. I can see through it very badly indeed. I can see down a tiny bit through the breaths. Some bassinets have no breaths on this side, suggesting that they were more frightened of being walloped by a right-handed opponent. I would have thought, though, that if I were me, and I probably would be, I would raise my visor or even remove it completely. And they had these quick release pins, which meant that you could take the visor off and ditch it, which once you're into close combat, that might be a fairly sensible thing to do. At this point, you've still got a bassinet on. If you ever see a helmet that's just like this, it's still a bassinet. It just doesn't have the pig's face visor on it. And a lot of archers and footmen would have something like this. It's got quite a practical shape for deflecting blows. Oh, something I forgot to mention. You see these projections here? They've all got holes through the sides of them. Therefore, attaching the aventail, that is the mail curtain that would come down and protect your neck and shoulders. And for knights, they would always have an aventail with one of these, but perhaps not the poorer footmen. So it's still a bassinet without the visor, and it's still, even without the visor, hampers my hearing quite a bit. With the visor, you can hear and be heard very, very poorly in this. So there you go. I am not a fan. Perhaps you've guessed. I'm not a fan of the bassinet. I've never liked the look, and I don't find them, at least the visors, I don't find them very practical. But if ever I get rich enough to afford a full set of Gothic field plate, and you know, it could happen, I'm going to have a very difficult time picking a helmet because I don't like sallets and I don't like barbutes. I'm not a tremendous fan of armets. What am I going to wear? Well, that's something of a first world problem I can perhaps look forward to another day.
Lindybeige!